think we're ready to start the continued public hearing for 75 Warren Avenue. Site plan review, what's this?
Those are plans for this project.
Okay.
Yeah, we just
Okay.
need some hard copies just for the file.
Is there anything in here that we haven't looked at before?
Yeah, so what we did on the new was we wanted to, there was a few points that we needed to discuss. We needed the impervious surfaces total percentage, which we did add on the left side. So we did the existing and the proposed, and for the existing impervious, we'll start with floor lot ratio less than 50%. Pavement, we came up with 15,436 square feet. Building was 14,348, and the concrete pad was 732, which gives a total of 36%. And then we did a existing 69 parking spaces is what we're currently using. And then on the proposed, the build coverage is the 22.9% which we talked about before. The floor to lot ratio is still less than 50%, and the impervious surfaces goes from 36% to 45.5%. And the number of parking spaces we're able to obtain, including the Ogilvy's garage, is 84. So those were the two pieces that we worked on, and then the others were the fire department. I'm trying to figure out which we've kind of been emailing back and forth.
Yeah, and I copied the board on some of the email exchanges. So first issue, the septic. The health agent has approved the septic, but she would like to see, the septic is in the back, over
Yeah,
that
it's right,
area.
it's right here. Let me see.
And
So septic is right here.
she would like to see, there's a retaining wall that's presently 4.5 feet in height. And I have not confirmed yet with the building inspector whether that would require a fence on top of it. So I have asked him, I haven't gotten a response yet, but what do you do to Levy basically stated that it's 4.5 feet high, and she would like to see it down so that it's under 3 feet, or around 3 feet. So that may require some additional engineering. She thinks it can happen. She also has stated that this septic system is only for the Pure Solutions building, so she wants 2 permanent porta potties out there for the remainder of the
Weston landscape. So there's currently one, and we can make sure there's a second one on site. I did call Bill Murphy, who's our septic guy, and he's going to redraw the plans with a 3-foot retaining wall. That was what Wendy had requested. So that's not
Okay. What about the fire department?
Well, the fire department, I have been having a series of discussions. I've had a couple of meetings. And what I did was, since I'm assuming that they've been jammed with the storms and stuff, and so anyhow, I've had a couple of discussions with them. They were totally unaware that Pure Solutions was down there. And so they asked for material safety data sheets, which were provided. There is a concern about if there were a fire in the building, the material that they use has a fairly low flash point, and so they are, and apparently this material can't be put out with water. It's foam or some other
fire extinguisher material, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
yeah. So anyhow, I sent Chief Soar and Dwight Robertson an email today saying, you know, I haven't heard from you. And my understanding is that the fire apparatus needs to get around the front and the back of the buildings without being impeded. Newly proposed building may need to be sprinklered. Fire apparatus will use the bus turnaround in front of the duplex to turn on the site, and the dumpsters in the access way need to be plowed and needs to be free of dumpsters. And then the water pressure is not strong, but there has been discussion about whether they want to bring in a hydrant or not into the site. So Captain Robertson responded and said that the storage of Class B flammable liquids can cause the building to be sprinklered, so he's in the process of looking into the regulations. He needs to, because of the revised regulations, he needs to do more research on it.
If this material has a low flash point and you can't put it out with water, how's the sprinkler system gonna work? Oh, okay, just asking.
Yeah.
It's a good
It's
question.
a great question. And the other thing is,
But
too,
I think
Yeah.
his concern is that it's not so much this material
It's preventing the fire from getting to.
that would start the fire, but if a fire were to start with
breakout.
flammable material, then it would hit this, so.
It is important to note though that the quantity of the product in a flammable state that's gonna be on the property is gonna be minimal. You know, we're not talking about tremendous amounts here, like an oil truck, for instance, or something of that nature. It's, you know, it's gonna be maybe,
How many 50-gallon barrels?
so
maybe that
to 55-gallon barrels at a time.
So-
And that's the max. So our inventory management is really important, obviously, for cash flow purposes. So we have a time where, right as we're running out, to come in, and then we're filling, so, you know, to max capacity.
The other thing is that when this product that's only when it's in concentrate form, so if it does get mixed with water, which it has to in order to go out in our vehicles and in order to be in a state where it's applied to properties, there's no combustible or flammable issues. The product actually doesn't have, it's not like a gasoline where there's like an explosion, for instance. It's like similar to a kind of a low,
Like a lamp oil.
lamp oil type.
And it's pure form.
So, there's no bomb-like activity.
Yeah, there's no combustible.
Or potential on the property.
In the fire department, we gave all the fire data sheets, yeah.
But where does it say that you're going to be limited to 2 55-gallon barrels at a time? Is it going to say that somewhere on the?
It is what we're, it's what we're
It's just
projecting.
how we use
Right,
it.
but I think that it needs to be documented somewhere. I think the fire department can get that documented somewhere.
Well,
Or
my
would that-
feeling on this is, at some point, we need something from the fire department besides an email
Right.
that says, this is what we need,
Right.
these are our conditions, and they've been complied with.
Right,
We need them to tell us.
right.
If we're not, otherwise it's the cart's in front of the horse.
Mhm.
So my feeling about it is, when the fire department signs off and when Wendy signs off on the septic, we're good to go. And I'd be willing to say that we could look at the draft decision contingent on sign off by the Board of Health and sign off by the fire department. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah.
All right.
It may need to be a little larger than 2 55-gallon barrels for that overlap time, though.
Yeah, I mean, we would love to discuss kind of what we're thinking based on like volume and price point and deep discounting. Maybe not with video camera on, if that's
Why?
possible. Well, because there's some proprietary,
It's not possible.
It's not.
Open meeting.
okay, so there's some proprietary components, so we just want to be really
I don't,
protective of some of that stuff, so.
Yeah, I don't think you need
What
to discuss it
What you
with
need to do is to really
Okay.
discuss.
We're the
it
wrong
fire
people.
Yeah.
department.
With the fire department,
Yeah.
okay, okay, I just wanted to just make sure, okay.
And thinking in
Just clarify.
terms of, you know, I think it was a good point that was brought up, that you may have some overlap.
Yeah,
It may be that you have an extra barrel or two even. You
Yeah.
know, talk with the fire department about what that would mean to them.
Okay.
And they may say, well, you could have up to 10 barrels, we don't care.
right. We just
Right.
need to have it
Doesn't
documented,
bother
what you
us.
have in the building.
Right.
I think what we're saying is that the planning board's requirements have been more or less satisfied. Now, the only outstanding pieces that we can see are fire department.
And the septic.
Board of Health.
Perfect, okay.
And so if you talk to those guys,
Yeah.
get them to write something that says you're in conformance with their requirements.
Perfect. Yeah,
We'll be okay.
okay.
Then get that to Betsy.
Okay.
She'll write a decision.
Now, just to clarify, Wendy has approved the septic,
She's approved it, but she
but
wants to
she,
see these revisions.
but she wants the revision of the 3-foot. So I can probably get that tomorrow. So we'll get that component.
Get it to her.
And I'll get that to you, and then it's just a matter of waiting for the fire department to kind of give us
I'm
that
gonna sit
check.
down with the fire department.
Okay.
Either the end of this week or the beginning.
And I think it's working, you know, CCing us on it and
Yeah.
get you the information as,
Yeah.
you know, as fast as we can get it.
Somewhere in here, it looks to me like there's a checklist, because his last sentence says, the main condition for the fire department is the complex has to meet the new CMR1 comprehensive fire code.
That's a new town code.
No, it's a new.
State.
State,
Okay.
January 1st, 2015.
Okay.
So that tells me that, I don't know what's in it.
Yeah.
Because it
Well,
just came
well,
out a month ago, but.
We'll read it tonight and figure it out.
Yeah.
Get our head around that as well.
CMR is mass roads.
Mass roads, okay.
Or the Massachusetts regulations.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's just checking the boxes.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Yeah. So good. So we'll take a look at the draft decision. When
On the
do we do it?
18th.
On the 18th.
Well,
Great.
assuming you
Thank
get
you.
cooperation.
Right. I mean,
Whole party.
So why don't we plan on continuing to the 18th with draft decision? And I will work with the fire department to
Yeah.
do that in.
That works.
And if they have their ducks in a row,
Yep.
by that time, then we can vote on it and be done. And you never have to see us again.
No.
How many months has it been?
It's been a year.
A year?
It's been 17 months.
Motion to continue
18 months.
to
Yeah,
the
seriously?
18th.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Motion to continue this to the 18th.
Roy, go ahead and second it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Be nice.
Thanks for your patience.
Yeah. Hey.
Jonathan?